between a commercial jet out of Wichita and a helicopter in the Washington, D.C. area. KOAM News at 10 is next.
And Android.
Now at 10, reaction to news that immigration agents are in Carthage. Plus, a case concerning a Joplin company and undocumented workers leads to a number of guilty.
A Pittsburgh recycling nonprofit is revamping its program in order to serve the community better. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We begin with breaking news tonight. A commercial jet out of Wichita has crashed with a helicopter in the Washington, D.C. area. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The FAA says an Army Black Hawk helicopter crashed into American airline flight 5342 just about 2 hours ago. This is a live image from the scene. One or both aircraft are in the Potomac River, where a large search and rescue operation is underway. American Airlines says the jet flying from Wichita carried 60 passengers and 4 crew members. A Kennedy Center webcam appeared to show the moment of that mid-air crash. There is no word yet on injuries or deaths, but we'll let you know if we get an update. The Carthage Police Department says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is in town now to arrest people who are not legally in the U.S. Chief Bill Hawkins says his department is cooperating with ICE as required, but is not actively assisting in their operations. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the entire situation has some in the Carthage community on edge.
It's a really sad situation that has developed in our nation.
Tammy Brown is a conservative from Carthage who attended President Trump's inauguration. She says although some people are in this country to do great things, some aren't.
But some people have come in with ill intent. They've come in with nefarious plans, and they are not our friends, and they literally are our enemies.
Meanwhile, Treasurer of Jasper County Democrats Austin Reed says he couldn't find any nicer group of people.
Every immigrant I have met has treated me with nothing but kindness and respect, and I cannot say the same for just normal U.S. citizens that I have had to interact with.
Tammy Brown says everyone is welcome in this country as long as they enter legally.
But they have to come in under the rule of law.
I think America is a country of immigrants. It shouldn't matter if they have paperwork or not, they're still people.
Reed says there is already a procedure in place for those entering this country.
That's why 90% of drugs are seized at the border. There is a vetting process.
If other countries require me to show my proper ID and my proper documentation, then I want to require that in my nation.
Reed says this riot situation can hurt small businesses.
And if they are legal residents, they're not showing up to work now because they're scared.
Come in legally, because we've had many immigrants that have done that for decades.
Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Chief Hawkins encourages residents to remain informed and aware of their rights. Several people involved in the management of a Joplin corporation plead guilty in a conspiracy concerning undocumented workers. The company is Joplin-based Specialty Foods Distribution, a wholesale Mexican food products and restaurant supply company. Authorities say some company employees created and maintained a network of restaurants operating under multiple LLCs in Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, and Oklahoma that were serviced by Specialty Foods Distribution. In August of 2021, ICE raided that Joplin business. Prosecutors claim some managers conspired to staff their restaurants with unauthorized workers. Now, 7 people have pleaded guilty in federal court to their roles in the racketeering conspiracy to transport, hire, and harbor undocumented workers in several Midwestern states. They include a partial owner of the company, Jose Luis Bravo of Claremore, Oklahoma. Also, company president Jose Guadalupe Razo of Carl Junction, Missouri, CFO Anthony Edward Dahl, and controller Miguel Terrin Martinez, both of Joplin, plus a Great Bend, Kansas woman and 2 citizens of Mexico. Each defendant admitted they were part of a RICO conspiracy from 2018 to 2021 that transported and employed Mexican, Guatemalan, and El Salvadoran nationals who were not authorized to live or work in the U.S. Specialty Foods reached out to KOAM with a statement addressing the legal proceedings. It says in part, quote, The investigation and prosecution found no involvement by Specialty Foods Distribution, Inc., which fully cooperated with the inquiry, end quote. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, we've been getting some rain in here, and thankfully temperatures have been well above freezing, so we don't have to worry about any frozen precip on the ground, just like we saw today, a high temp of 63 degrees, and we're still staying above freezing. But look at the rain, showers, even a few embedded little thunderstorms in there. Of course, nothing strong, nothing severe, but where you see the yellows, that's where we're getting some moderate rain. So bands of showers and a few thunderstorms continuing to push in. Heaviest kind of along and then south of that I-44 corridor, but we're going to continue to get these bands as we go through the next several hours. Maybe a little bit of a lull later on tonight after midnight, and then it's going to start to pick up and increase again by morning. So a very wet start to your Thursday, and showers and thunderstorms continue through the day. We're going to break it all down for you here in a bit.
See you soon. A Pittsburgh Recycling Center is in the process of revamping its program to better serve the community. KOIM's Melissa Alexis explains their goal.
We're trying to keep materials out of the landfill.
When you use a product and throw the packaging away, where that trash ends up isn't always something we think about.
It can be easy to not necessarily think about that, right? That trash is kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's not in my house. I don't have to think about it anymore.
But it is something that's on the mind of the board chair of the Southeast Kansas Recycling Center.
I didn't realize how much we waste till I start working here.
Any parcel of land, there's a limited amount of stuff that you're able to put on it. And so one of the things to consider then is what is the rate at which we are putting stuff, trash, in that place.
That's just one way the SEK Recycling Center benefits the community. The nonprofit brings in about 900 tons of recyclable materials annually, helping prevent the Pittsburgh landfill from overfilling and potentially releasing pollutants into the community.
Board boxes or from office paper that's been printed on, those kinds of things, instead of virgin materials, right? Taking new oil out of the ground or cutting down additional trees or any of those kinds of things. We're doing an environmental good, right, by utilizing the things that we already have.
This nonprofit has high hopes for the future, and they even hope to work in collaboration with the city of Pittsburgh.
Have indicated that they want to do curbside recycling pickup as well, and have indicated to us that they would like us to help with that process as a collection facility. Okay, what are the ways that we need to prepare to operate in that way?
And one of the ways they're preparing for this future project is by clearing out e-waste to make room.
Time intensive or don't produce valuable goods on the back end. E-waste is a good example of that.
During this cleanup process, they will not be accepting e-waste items or donations in their reuse shop. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The recycling center is accepting volunteers from February to March to help with the cleanup process. Seasonal illness hits a couple of Oklahoma school districts hard. That's coming up. Plus,
a Carl Junction athlete that's featured in a Super Bowl commercial that'll be shown all across the 4 states isn't letting anything stop him from reaching his goals. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Celebrate the good.
a couple of school districts in northeastern Oklahoma are closing their doors for the rest of the week. Miami Public Schools will close tomorrow and Friday due to staff and student illness. The district says it plans to use both days to deep clean the schools. Staff will also use both days as virtual learning days. Afton Public Schools will also shut down for the rest of the week. The district also cites an increase in illness-related absenteeism. Both days will be used as deep cleaning days as well, but administrators say these will not be virtual learning days. A Carl Junction athlete is featured in a commercial that's going to play across the 4 states on Super Bowl Sunday. The commercial is for the Challenged Athletes Foundation, which helps provide adaptive sports equipment. Thanks to the foundation, Elijah Schultz plays the sport he loves, football. KOAM Samantha Walker has the story on the determined young athlete.
The night before his first 3rd grade football practice, when he had his gear, he slept in full pads. He just was so excited to finally get to be part of the team.
Football is a big part of Elijah Schultz's life.
I just go out there to have fun with my teammates and compete.
The Carl Junction 7th grader is the starting quarterback on his team, has since he was in the 3rd grade. He may not look like the stereotypical player.
I was born with amniotic banding syndrome, where I lost part of my left leg and some fingers and toes.
He was also missing several fingers, so he was born with 3 complete fingers.
That wasn't going to stop Elijah from pursuing the field. With his prosthetic running leg, he's ready to play.
I just play like every play's the last, and I know that my teammates are always there.
TJ Fleeton is Elijah's quarterback coach and mentor. The Schultz family reached out to him when Elijah wanted to develop as a quarterback.
Honestly, my initial thought was, this is a little bit different. But I wasn't going to take it easy on him. Playing quarterback or just being an athlete in general, there's a lot of challenges that you face, and nothing's given to you. You have to earn everything. It doesn't matter what your story is.
Elijah's had 6 different surgeries on his hand and leg. His last leg surgery was when he was in the 3rd grade. It kept him in the hospital for 6 days and didn't allow him to run for 6 months.
That was probably one of the most formative moments in sport, because he had to really work hard to come back and be able to be an athlete after that.
But Elijah was determined to bounce back stronger than ever, wanting to play by his next football season.
I've never not believed in myself.
The player's father says he doesn't take to the field to inspire others, but he does so nonetheless.
If there's somebody who's going through something that sees Eli and recognizes, hey, if this kid can do it, so can I, then that's awesome too.
I want to show people how great you can be, even if you're missing fingers, legs, or anything.
Elijah wants to play college football and one day go pro.
I believe that God has a purpose and that he's doing something special with me.
Reporting in Carl Junction, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
You can see Elijah and his family featured in the Challenged Athletes Foundation commercial on Super Bowl Sunday on Fox 14. A little bit later, some big honors for a Lions pitcher. John has his story coming up in sport.
Plus, we have rain continuing for us tonight. We're going to have those details coming up. Well, of course, we've been dealing with the showers, even a few rumbles of thunder across the region over the past several hours, which you can't see if you look outside at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Our tower cam roads are wet, and they're going to be wet tonight. So if you are going to be out, make sure you are careful on the roadways. Thankfully, we're above freezing, so we don't have to deal with any frozen precip across the region. But look at the bands of showers. Where you see the greens, that is light rain, but where we're picking up the orange and the yellow, that is where we're getting some moderate rain, and especially our southern counties, a little bit of lightning in there. Heaviest rain by far on the Missouri side into Arkansas, picking up northeastern parts of Oklahoma. A little spottier, a little choppier once you get out across southeastern parts of Kansas, but this whole band rotating through. Look at the lightning in eastern parts of Oklahoma. It's a slow moving system, and that's why we're going to be dealing with it tonight, tomorrow night into the first half of the day on Friday. Rain chances, they'll actually taper a little bit through the night, a little bit of a lull, and then shoot right back up through most of the day tomorrow, and then start to taper again just a bit as we get into tomorrow evening. All right, let's walk through time. Here's midnight, periods of showers, a few thunderstorms, a little bit of a lull, and then starts to pick back up. Here's 6 o'clock in the morning, bands of rain through the morning, so take the rain gear, heading out the door in the morning, bands of rain all the way through about the noon hour, and then really continuing into the afternoon. And then once we get into tomorrow evening, here's 5 p.m. Also want you to notice the temps, 54, 5, 6, 7 degrees, well above freezing. Then a little bit of a lull tomorrow evening, but showers start to rotate back in after midnight tomorrow night into Friday morning. So we'll start Friday, and this is because we're going to be on the back side of the system, the upper level low, the calm ahead as this rotates through. Some morning showers on Friday. Clouds hang half the day, and then we get some sunshine. Temps not bad. 53, 54, 55 degrees by the time we get in Friday afternoon. How much rain are we going to get? On top of what we've seen, lesser amounts, western counties, quarter upwards to half an inch. Once you get to Pittsburgh, Joplin, through the metro, most of us half inch upwards to an inch of rain. A little bit heavier amounts once you get down into northwestern Arkansas. Those are going to be the areas that pick up 2, 3, 4, even 5 inches of rain. Day planner on your Thursday, we hang 55, 56, 57 degrees, but again, those periods of rain throughout the day. Thankfully, temperatures right now are above freezing. We don't have to worry about that as we go through the night. But look at this big cutoff low. So when I say it's cut off, the jet stream's up here. It's cut off from the jet stream, and that's why we don't have the cold Canadian air, and that's why we're getting rain. But this whole system works on through, and then we clear out and shape up to see a pretty good weekend. 57 on your Thursday, 53 on Friday, 60 Saturday, 65 on Sunday. So the weekend's going to be fantastic, and then cooling back down a bit early next week.
65, that is not a typo.
That is pretty nice.
Yes, it is for this time of year around here. You bet.
Yep.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Missouri Southern Baseball receives a top 15 preseason ranking, and Coffeyville men's basketball faces Independence Community College on the road. John Dale says those stories and more coming up next in sports.
Coffeyville Community College men's basketball enters today ranked as the number 12 team in the nation. The Red Ravens are 16-4 so far this season, and they've got a conference road game. Coffeyville men's basketball on the road tonight facing its rival Independence. Red Ravens get off to a fast start. Trenton Rush drives and spins in the lane. His turnaround jumper is good. A few minutes later, Konstantin Popovich fires away a three, and that's good. But the ICC Pirates get back into this one, and a big reason why, Jamari Hamilton Brown. He knocks down the three ball here. Then a few possessions later, it's Hamilton Brown again. He's really heating up from beyond the arc as he hits another three. We go ahead to the second half of action. That's when the crowd really gets into it. Chris Dockery flies over a defender for a posterizing dunk. Not long after that, Dockery all alone, and he dunks it again. That gives ICC the lead. But then Coffeyville starts to regain control. Here's Trenton Ruth connecting on a three ball. Then a little bit later on, Ruth finds Daniel Tombway with a big-time finish. Coffeyville scores 63 points in the second half alone, and the Red Ravens win it 103-74. Well, Pittsburgh State women's basketball is off tonight. The Gorillas play a road game against Northeastern State. That's tomorrow night in Tahlequah. While the Gorillas are on an 8-game winning streak, they move up higher in this week's coaches poll. PSU is now the number 6 team in the country, which makes it the highest ranked MIAA squad. And Amanda David's team most recently took down Missouri Southern by 16 points this Saturday. Not only are the Gorillas winning, they're doing so comfortably. Every one of their 8 consecutive victories have been by double digits. Here's a look at the rest of the top 10 for Division II women's basketball. Fort Hays State, the only other MIAA team on that list. Gorillas will face the Tigers on the road. That's on February 22nd. Their only 2 losses so far have been in neutral site games. Well, Division II college baseball season gets started on Friday. Missouri Southern enters 2025 after hosting an NCAA regional in back-to-back seasons. Now, the Lions are one of a couple MIAA teams ranked in the preseason top 25. Missouri Southern is the number 11 baseball team in the country in the preseason poll released by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. Lions have won more than 40 games in back-to-back seasons. Central Missouri is the only other MIAA team ranked. Mules are 4th in the preseason poll. And coinciding with those preseason rankings, a couple of our local players are named to the preseason All-Central Region team, one being Missouri Southern starting pitcher Cole Gaiman. The Webb City grad is entering his senior year with the Lions after an All-American junior campaign. Pittsburgh State catcher Nixon Brandon is on the all-region team as well, and he's entering his final season with the Gorillas. It's a couple of teams, we talked to Pittsburgh State earlier in the week, a couple of teams that have high expectations, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern baseball, ready to get the season started.
It's an exciting time for the fans, for those players as well. We're going to have an update on that crash involving a helicopter and an airliner just ahead. Want to briefly recap our top story for you. This is a live image from a massive search and rescue operation underway in the Potomac River near Reagan National Airport right now. That's where an airliner and a helicopter, a Black Hawk helicopter, crashed this evening. The airliner was an American Airline 5342 out of Wichita, Kansas. We understand 60 people, passengers were on board that jet, a crew of 4 as well. 3 people were on board the Black Hawk. No word of any injuries at this point, but of course we'll have an update online, KOAMnewsnow.com, and on our morning show that begins at 5 a.m. Moving on, the Downtown Joplin Alliance gathered with a few of its closest friends and community members this evening to say thank you. Empire Market teamed up with the Alliance to host the Evening of Excellence, the first Downtown Now event of 2025. The event, which took place at the Ramsey, gave the Alliance a chance to celebrate everyone in the community who makes their work possible.
I think it's really important for people to give back, to invest into their community. You can't just expect a community to have everything you want sometimes, and if you see something, if there's a gap, being able to step in and to provide things that you want, but then also that other people want in the community is really important.
Downtown Joplin Alliance is a nonprofit organization. It's dedicated to the revitalization of the city's downtown community as a safe and thriving center of art, history, enterprise, commerce, culture, residence, and entertainment. The weather looking pretty promising in the days ahead.
Yeah, at least temperatures are going to be staying pretty nice. We are going to have bouts of showers, even a few thunderstorms tonight, tomorrow night into Friday morning, but we clear out and look fantastic for the weekend.
Final sports note.
Oklahoma City Thunder got a late start tonight on the West Coast. They're up by 10 against Golden State Warriors at halftime.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.